So if you're anything like me, your Pinterest feed is filled, dare I say, clogged with terrible AI designs, if you can even call them designs. Sometimes they're convincing at first glance, but then you open them up to take a closer look and... Not to mention the fact that if a pin isn't AI, it's an ad. But Pinterest isn't going to get rid of their advertisers, and because AI pins can be mass-produced, it brings in, supposedly, a lot of revenue. So, Pinterest isn't going to do anything about it. And am I going to do anything about it? I'll try my best. There are entire accounts on Pinterest dedicated to compiling a bunch of AI designs from DeviantArt so that artists can take the designs and make them their own. And while I'm not really a big fan of posting AI art anywhere, I might as well take some of these if they're giving them away for free. And just a disclaimer, do not do this with actual artists' character designs. While taking inspiration with credit is generally okay, straight up stealing someone's OC is not cool. But this is AI, which isn't art anyway, so it's not stealing. Pinterest has so many, and by so many, I mean infinite AI designs to choose from, and so we could have been here all day, but I limited myself to 2. About 60% of AI character designs on Pinterest are these dragon yokai oni girls that look like that girl from Dragon Maid, which is quite possibly my least favorite character design ever. I consider myself a pretty decent character designer and wanted to challenge myself with one of these, but I'm not a miracle worker. To be completely honest, I've always found characters like this very irritating. I don't think they're funny or cute or endearing, and I think if studios had the choice, all of these characters would be voiced by Awkwafina. And so I was scrolling through these Oni girls when I came across this one, and I thought she was so cute, so I'm taking her. She's mine now. Right off the bat, I knew I had to keep her shape language consistent, so she's still to be round, very friendly looking. But her color scheme actually gave me a lot of trouble. And you would think that this wouldn't be the case because blue is my favorite color. And yes, this is true. Blue is my favorite color in moderation. But she doesn't have a single color on her other than different shades of blue and some black and white. And monochrome characters definitely can work when they're simpler, like the emotions from Inside Out, but she looks like she's supposed to be like an RPG character, so I would like to give her some contrasting colors in her design, especially because I really like to follow color theory. So I thought the deep blues and kind of purplish hues contrasted with the personality that I was projecting on her in my head. I think she comes off as sweet, friendly, confident, like big sister type. The 2 things I knew that I was definitely keeping were the blue skin and the horns, and I wanted to lean more into this kind of cow, goat, ram, sheep thing that she's got going on. Ultimately, I landed on sheep, and you'll see why in a second. If I had to guess what prompt was used to generate her, something like blue friendly tiefling girl. Is she a tiefling? I don't know. I'm not really a Dungeons and Dragons person. And so I guess she could still be a tiefling. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think she is. I thought her hair could be made a little bit more interesting, so I actually made it into 2 bubble braids, keeping about the same hair texture, just to add some interest to her silhouette. I feel like I'm always saying stupid stuff like that to make the silhouette more interesting, to add more interest and contrast in the character design. I didn't go to art school. I haven't taken any art classes since middle school. I'm self-taught. I just like to sound pretentious, okay? She ended up looking like a Wooloo Gajinka, at least before the colors, but I think that's cute. Wooloo's really cute. I actually didn't intend to lean so hard into the sheep imagery with the cowbell and the curved horns and the white hair I end up giving her, but I think that combined with the fact that her skin is still blue makes her look kind of like one of the, what are they called? The blue people from Avatar, the Na'vi. I've never watched Avatar. I still wasn't sure at this point when I was designing her clothes if I wanted to lean more into the Dungeons and Dragons aspect, because I did suspect that she was based on a tiefling. And as far as I know, that's a Dungeons and Dragons specific race. Somebody please correct me in the comments. I've only played Baldur's Gate 3, so that's my familiarity with Dungeons and Dragons. She ended up kind of looking like a wandering shopkeeper, similar to like Beetle from Legend of Zelda. I imagine that she sells little trinkets that are not useful to anybody, but end up having like weird magical abilities, like a little glass bottle that whatever you fill it up with, it can pour infinitely. Gotta put some Baja Blast in there. Or a little jingle bell. When you ring it, it reminds you of the true meaning of Christmas. Or a hair bow. When you tie it around a piece of your hair, it makes it grow exponentially faster. She's probably wearing those actually. Where does she get this stuff? I don't know. She just finds it on the ground, and all of them are magical in some way. Does she know what all of them do? Absolutely not. The outfit I gave her kind of resembles like a swimsuit, so I imagine she's from a warmer climate, or she's currently traveling in a warmer climate, but she's from a cooler climate. I don't actually believe that tieflings can be blue. I made mine blue in Baldur's Gate 3, but I don't believe that they naturally come in blue, or if they do, that tieflings who are cooler colors come from cooler climates. That's what makes sense in my brain. So maybe she's from like a family of like mountain goat people, mountain sheep, but her dream was to travel the realm selling little useless items. And so her outfit is because now she's selling her stuff in the Bahamas. Yeah, I don't know what her deal is, but I think that she's really cute and she was a whole lot of fun. She's not the type of character that I would normally design, but I think that made her more fun. A lot of these elements are things that I would normally not combine, but I do think that she turned out super cute and would make an interesting RPG character. I also imagine that she's got like a little posse of like forest animals. They follow her around, birds sit on her horns, squirrels and chipmunks hide in her backpack, and she sends them out and they bring her back all these magical items. So are the animals magical? I don't know. I don't know what the lore is. I'm coming up with this right now. Maybe the only currency that she takes are other little trinkets. So in order to obtain the jingle bell that reminds you of the true meaning of Christmas, you have to give her a charm that fell off your charm bracelet that you got from your grandma. And she just so happens to discover that it also has magical properties, but only after it's no longer yours. How does she do it? I'm not sure. But anyways, here is Sheep Girl. She doesn't have a name. I didn't come up with one before this video. This next one is actually the first one that I found on Pinterest and the first one that I drew, but she was a little more complicated and took a little bit longer, so I put her at the end. Admittedly, it is nice to look at if you ignore the glaring issues with it. I think her color scheme and outfit are very nice, even if her silhouette is a little bit plainer than I'd like. But I love, love, love gold, so I knew that I had to incorporate it way more into her fixed design. And I also really like the fact that her hair was green underneath. I thought that was really cool. I wanted her to actually look inspired by South Asia rather than just being a weird amalgamation of different parts, you know, like all AI art is. And so I will talk a little bit more about that during the sketch. So in the AI reference, she's wearing a lot of jewelry that all looks kind of smushed together and none of it really has any form or definition. But there's a lot of South Asian cultures with a lot of really pretty gold jewelry, so I decided on Indian. So I researched specifically Indian jewelry and tried to steer away from like bridal stuff because she's not getting married. I decided to lean away from the dress and actually give her a suit jacket and a boa instead. Or is a boa only feathers? What is this called? A stole? Is that it? Or is that something different? I don't know. She was the first one I drew, and even though she took a lot longer, she came together very easily, and I feel like she looks really good. Whereas the AI piece doesn't really have a whole lot of personality. She just looks a bit sultry and maybe shy. I wanted my design to look sassy, confident, self-assured, stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. And this is my first design ever referencing a culture that I've had to like research in depth. So y'all can tell me if there's anything that I need to change or if there's anything that I missed. I ended up sketching a full body as well, but I didn't have time to finish it, so maybe I'll go back and revisit it or put it on my Patreon or something, because I'm actually planning on adding her to my original story that I haven't talked about yet. But what I'll say for now is her role would be similar to that of like the Fatui Harbingers from Genshin Impact. Powerful, rich, influential people in control of a certain part of the world's country. Another specific thing that I changed was her skin tone, which you'll see a little bit later. A lot of brown girls in anime have this weird ashy undertone to them that makes them look gray, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. So I did the bare minimum and gave her some blood circulation. But other than that, I don't think I have a whole lot else to say for her. I'll let the design speak for herself. And I actually want to talk a little bit more about the concept of AI art in general and explain to those of you who may not know exactly how harmful it is, why it's so bad for artists. I was really naive when this technology was first being made mainstream, probably early mid 2023. I admittedly thought that it was really cool that you could type in a prompt and it would just generate the character design for you. And as a lazy artist who struggles with putting thoughts to paper, I thought, wow, this can just do it for me. But that awe and intrigue quickly turned into grief and horror when I realized exactly how this technology worked. In case you didn't know, most of these image generating AI technologies are trained off of databases which can contain thousands to hundreds of thousands of pictures that the AI is referencing in order to basically build a picture using different parts of pictures that it's been trained off of. And 99 times out of 100, these pictures have not been taken with credit or with permission. And in order to generate pictures in these art styles that can be aesthetically pleasing to look at, the AI has to reference drawings and pictures that artists have made that look like that. There is absolutely no way to be 100% sure that whatever AI image model that you're using has been completely 100% trained off of images that have been given with permission. With the scale and scope that AI is at right now, there is no way to know. That's why AI art is not considered real art and it's considered stolen, because it is literally stolen. And now platforms like Twitter and Instagram are putting sneaky tactics into their terms of service that make it to where signing up for the platform gives these companies the right to use your pictures if they are posted publicly. And they can use them for whatever they want, like training their AI. But please believe me when I say that I am not saying this to scare any of you. I'm personally not scared. No matter how advanced AI gets, I'm not afraid of it replacing me, because the type of people that I make art for are the people who value the human effort and compassion and love that is put into art. Real art and music and photography and filmmaking will always win, because the best pieces of art, the ones that people remember, the ones that stick with people, are the ones with the most amount of raw human emotion in them. Even my stupid stuff like my self-insert content comes from a place of love and appreciation and imagination. You think that a robot can do any of that? Absolutely not. AI will never take my place as YouTube's #1 self-insert apologist. And whatever your silly little niche is, AI can't take that away from you either. AI might come and go like NFTs did back in 2022, or it may stay for longer than we need it to. But do not let it discourage you from making art. Your art being drawn by your own hands, no matter how bad you think it may look, is infinitely better than anything a computer could generate just because you made it. You, specifically, the person watching this video, I'm talking to you. I encourage you to do your own research on the effects of AI, not only on artists, but also on the environment. But I'm done ranting for now. I've been told I need to complain less. So here's the finished redesign. Her name is Lavanya, and I don't have a name for the sheep girl, so please suggest some in the comments. This video is actually sponsored by somebody very close to me who started her own business that she's named Faith Forward, and she wanted me to tell you a little bit about her newest course. So I've been on a self-improvement kick recently, journaling, reflecting, trying to psychoanalyze the way I've acted for years without realizing. But one thing I struggle with is getting over stuff. I hold on to things way longer than I need to, way longer than whatever it is actually affected my life. And while I am not telling you to just forgive and forget, sometimes there are things that we need to get over in order to keep moving forward. I'm talking to myself here. Recently, I did some work on a short self-improvement course called Radical Acceptance After Disappointment. See, look, I drew those! And by short, I mean short. This course, taught by an experienced licensed therapist with years of experience, was condensed just for you into a bite-sized 12-minute session that you can listen to on the go or watch when it's convenient. Radical acceptance is exactly what it sounds like. It's the idea of not forcing yourself to bury your feelings to get over something quickly, but essentially speed running the processing of your feelings so they don't become debilitating. If you want to learn more, which I highly recommend that you do, you can use my code inkiio to get $3 off the purchase of the course, which brings it to only $7 just for you guys. And you'll have the video forever for you to follow at your pace. This is a great way to not only treat yourself, but also support me, as I did make the art for this video. So thank you so much for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. As always, make sure to check out my links in the description, my Patreon, my shop, anything else that I put down there that I can't remember at this time. As always, thank you to the people who pay for my groceries, my $10 patrons, and we actually have some new names on here. Thanks so much to Puntastic Artist, Little Wolfine, Viyun, Gar, Zigo Buzz, I promise I'm working on your commission, Wishing Star, and Speckadoodle, as well as all of my other patrons, all of my subscribers, everybody who watched this video, everybody who's ever watched a video of mine. Leave a comment for me for what you want to see in the new year. I'm always accepting ideas because I'm running a little dry right now. But as always, I have been Inkiio, and I will see you very soon.